New words from an old friend, Temporally speaking. February 18, 2014. Greetings to you all from one who is in service with the League of Light at the side of Asket and others who you will come to know. I am one who has long been in communication with many people on your planet, and whose role has long been to intercede within the workings of your social structure from time to time to awaken a wider sense of what the truth is about your origins and meaning within the larger context of a divinely ordered cosmos. I love the interaction with your planet's mind, and I love your people with all of my heart. I am Semjase, and I come to you now as one who is speaking to the heart of all humanity at a time of transformation on a planetary scale. Please hear what I have to say with grace and forbearance, as I know many of you have been listening to a lot of different sources saying a lot of different things about the way things are moving on your world. My intention, of course, is to bring some clarity to those who read my words, and to impart the understanding that you are, indeed, part of a greater cosmic family and a greater cosmic intelligence that sources from the very essence of life itself, which we call Om. In that love which animates all beings, I stand before you now with these words. A long time ago, there were beings time-traveling through a sector of the fabric of space who came upon a nascent Earth and decided to use it for a great purpose in their plan for temporally resetting the weave of galactic history to their own purposes. These beings were wily in their act of subversion, and soon the history of Earth became twisted to serve their plan. It was not in the power of any of the star civilizations who had a part in the establishment of the primordial life streams of the planet to involve themselves directly with these time-traveling pirates, for to do so would have irreparable effects on their own time streams, and this is something they guarded without allowance of deviation. Rather, the solution to the interference was settled to be to allow the temporal distortion from the travelers and to remain in the background as a support for the eventual realignment of the planetary history with the original course, to be caught up at a later point in the spectrum of time-space the Earth occupied. This is the point at which we are now picking up the story, for in your point of view, this is that point in history where the time streams converge and the annulment of the rogue time stream will no longer allow it to drive some aspects of your ride. You are becoming the timekeepers and the masters of your own destiny, for now is the time at which you are able to decide to take back the power that had been wrested from you, to place it back in your own hands as a collective governing yourselves for the greatest common good, leaving out no one, and which is getting you set back on course from the time at which the divergent time stream entered the picture long, long ago. This is a slight deviation from the typical story you may hear, and perhaps a little, tiny shift in the angle of approach at which you normally come into consideration of the concept of self-governance and collective consciousness. You do not lose yourself as an individual in either option, and you do not subjugate yourself to a greater common good that bulldozes over individual will, in alignment with the harmonic of human beingness in its fullest flowering. You do not take a step backward by moving into the future that is before you as a potentiality, though there may be in the back of your mind some idea of losing the brilliance of the individuality that you have nurtured your whole life long, and longer. Nothing is lost in the transition from one governing time stream to the next, other than the weight of oppression forcing you to bend your will and your creativity to suit another's aims and desires. It is well worth losing such a burden, do you agree? It is not to say a free-for-all ensues in which the weak or unaware are made to watch others create a world that may or may not be to their taste. But it is to say that it is free for all to participate and to move the dynamic of creation into the group consciousness that arises from healthy, whole, unfractured individualities in blessed harmony upon a planetary body conscious of their beingness and supportive of life. If this is what is meant by collective consciousness, is it not a degree more dynamic than many of you have considered such a thing to be? Don't get into the fairy tale of science fiction stories when you consider the reality of what confronts you now, for all of it pales in comparison to the true world within the galactic society that is arriving more insistently by the day. It is tugging on your consciousness now, we have noticed, despite the ups and downs that have been dragging your emotional body more or less through the roller coaster of global integrative movement. If you experience sadness, anger, frustration, doubt, hopelessness, or any other extreme of dark feelings, know that the experience is temporary and you are moving through it with the world in tow. You are stronger than you might think, and in confronting the abyss, as a being in service to the greater accord of humanity's evolution, you do a great service for a planet in pain, coming into recognition of its own wounds and its own strengths and overcoming them. Wholeness is achievable, for you and for the greater human organism of which you are a part. As that takes shape, be gentle with yourselves and patient and supportive of each other. Let your joy become the baseline frequency while the movement into wholeness happens. Let the peace that comes from release take you into greater love, and the love that comes from self-forgiveness and healing of long ago memories bring you into greater alignment with each other. This is our wish for you, that the process of whole becoming is as peaceful and grace-filled as can be, for everyone and for all. This is Semjase, of the League of Light, in service to the planetary consciousness and beingness of all humanity, speaking to you through the goodwill of one who has heard my voice as a friend many times in many lifetimes. Trust these words as you have trusted others brought into the light of your vision from those in service to the same loving crew, and know that I am with you all, as friend and sister. In peace, be well, and know that the changes you have longed for are indeed moving through the matrix toward a new world birthing. Channeled by Marianne Rada. timetransformers.wordpress.com